What's up, everyone? Genesis here, bringing in a brand new episode of The Haven Exchange. Tonight, myself, Rick, and Big RC are going to be going over the stories that have changed us or impacted us or caused some sort of ripple effect in our lifetimes. This topic was a fun one. It was fun to prep for and try to think about what things in media that we've been exposed to throughout our life and finding the pathways that came from those stories. And it's really interesting to see how much of an impact those can have, especially when you reflect on the origin of a lot of the things that we enjoy or things that we do. This one was a fun one. I really enjoyed it. Before we dive in, we want to go ahead and give a shout out to our gold and silver patron members, Tashamonetsims, Nerder She Wrote, and Kazaya. Thank you all for your continued patron support. We also want to do a shout out to the Gamers Haven Network and everyone else that's been tuning in and listening to us babble on about all the crazy topics we've been doing so far. And we are looking forward to keep this train going into the new year and beyond. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the show.
This is the Haven Exchange.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Haven Exchange, a podcast brought to you by the Gamers Haven Network. I'm your host, Genesis_GH, and there's Marley in the background barking up the storm as usual. As usual, you know, we got the fellas on board tonight. Big RC, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, what's going on? Nothing new in particular, man. Just still doing the same old thing and just surviving this COVID situation one day at a time.
Absolutely. That's what we're all trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to bring in another fan favorite, I like to call him the bad conductor, the king of derails, Mr. Choo 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 Rick.
Yeah.
What is going on, fellas? How are you all doing today?
Simply amazing.
Yeah, man, that's a good way of putting it.
Now, it's getting close to Christmas break, so I'm excited to be off work for 2 weeks to get caught up on a lot of stuff that I have on my backlog. You know, we still got another week or so till that comes up, but looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got big Christmas plans? Are you going to be able to do family shit this year?
Yeah. So for me, probably not. Probably just gonna grab something simple, small for my mother. My brothers are gonna be okay if I don't give them nothing. I mean, whatever.
You said fuck them.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What happens if they get you a gift? Are you gonna feel a little shitty?
Nah, I'm not, because I already know that they're not gonna get me shit. So,
yeah. Rick, we got to get this dude a Christmas gift, man.
I know, right? Well, I mean, he would have got one if he would have joined the Haven Secret Santa. I mean, you know.
That's a good point. I didn't see his name in there.
He surely did not join it. He surely did not. I already know who I'm getting. I already know what I'm getting them. And yeah, he would have definitely got a gift, but no. No, I don't know, man.
That would have been funny if you both got each other as Secret Santas.
Oh,
and
man.
Like the meme gifts that you would have probably bought.
oh, God.
No, for Christmas time, I take Christmas very seriously. Probably a little too serious, to be honest with you.
Oh, are you like one of those expert gift givers?
No, not necessarily. I pay attention to what people say throughout the year in case I have the money to get them something. If I had money like that, then I would, of course, get all the homies some gifts.
Of course.
But yeah, nah. This year, nah. Nah.
We struggling this year.
Yeah. Although, who knows?
Now, what about your kiddos? Do they still believe in Santa?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. So they do believe in Santa to an extent, but they know all the gifts are from me and mom. They know that. Yeah, we don't. I'm not working all year long to give some fat white dude all the credit for my, no, fuck that. So
it ain't happening.
Yeah, no. Like, so they know they think he still exists. Well, let me be quiet. They're actually in the next room, but
he's just a dude, but he doesn't give the gifts. How do you spin that story to him?
No, they know that he gives gifts, but they think that he just gives gifts to the less fortunate. So, I mean, that may not be a good story to tell them, but
I think that's a good story to. Although you kind of miss out on the whole naughty nice aspect. Then you can't hold that over them. Like, oh, you're being naughty. Santa is not going to get you anything.
Fortunately enough, I'm going to knock on wood here, but fortunately enough, my girls are incredible. They are not. They are great kids, man. I'm really. I know everyone says that, but they're great kids. They don't talk back. They don't argue. They don't fight with us. They're respectful. They're great kids. We've gotten very, very lucky. Now, if for some reason I happen to have a third one, that one's probably going to be
that's where the karma
child.
comes in.
Exactly. But Dakota and Violet are perfect. I could not have asked for better children.
Oh man, good for you.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Good for them. That's some awesome kiddos.
Yeah,
they smart as shit too, man. Some of the stories you tell me about them, like goddamn.
Yeah.
I don't know where they got it from.
No, I don't either. Well, no, that's definitely mommy. That's definitely their mom. Their mom is very smart, whereas I'm just, I'm just some asshole who knocked up a girl.
You just there, you just there for the fun of it. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
That's why he's playing Santa role. He comes around once a year.
Exactly. No, mommy gets all the credit for the intelligence. But yeah, they're great, man.
That's interesting that you told that story though to them. That's an interesting way to approach Santa. I kind of like it because you get the idea that Santa does this for the less fortunate, which teaches some skills of generosity and whatnot. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess speaking of stories. Is that a hard stretch of a segue from Santa to what we're going to be talking about tonight?
I think it was perfect. I don't think you can get any better than that.
All right, then. Hell yeah. Well, tonight's topic actually comes from patreon.com/Haven Exchange, where we posted a poll for what episode you guys want to hear us record next. And you all have voted on a particular topic that we had listed, stories that have stuck with us for the ages of time or that have impacted us in a meaningful way. So you all have voted on that, and that's what we're going to be talking about on this episode of the Haven Exchange. And I know Rick is excited about this one. This was actually one of his picks on the giant list of topics that we have still to come. Rick, why is this something that you wanted to talk about or you wanted us to talk about?
I think for me, it was... I wanted to hear you all's ideas, or I really wanted to see what kind of stories impacted you all the most, because I look at you two guys as, aside from RC. No, but I consider you guys some of my best friends, and I'm very curious as to what, kind of molded you into the people that you are. And I feel like you can kind of get an idea of what kind of person they are based on what helped shape them. And plus, there's just any excuse for me to talk about The Witcher 3.
He buttered us up. Mm-hmm. Right. He buttered us up with the bullshit of niceties, and then he's going to slap on the fucking Witcher nonchalantly, like, as if we didn't know.
No, it's not all Witcher 3. It's not all Witcher 3. But no, in all seriousness though, I really wanted to know what it is that you guys found really deep, what impacted you the most. Plus, I'm also interested in the listeners too, in the comments, or let us know on Twitter, Discord, or wherever it is that you communicate with us. I'm interested in everyone's story. I want to get to know as many people as possible.
I'm saying this dude is Santa Claus. He really is.
Nah. Speaking of Santa Claus, have you seen Fat Man? The trailer for Fat Man?
No, but I saw the the thumbnail for it, but I wanted to check that out. It looked like it was going to be a comedy, right?
Yes.
Or is it like a
watch
dark Joker like style Santa Claus?
It's kind of like, I mean, it's dark for sure. But yeah, dude, just watch the trailer. It looks good. I cannot wait for it.
Was that George Clooney that was starring in that?
Nah, it's Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Oh shit.
Yep.
Has he gone through redemption? Are we ready for more Mel Gibson?
Not only are we ready for redemption, because I don't know if anyone's aware of what Mel Gibson went through with his controversy, but not only is he ready for redemption, his Mrs. Santa Claus in this movie is a black woman.
Okay. So he's shooting for redemption.
Yeah, and he straight up makes out with her in the trailer. Like, so he's letting it be known, like, hey, I don't hate black people, all right? Or at least he doesn't hate black
people. I am glad you kind of clarified that, but that's no story for no time. All right.
Shout out to the black women out there. I love y'all.
With this topic, I kind of struggled a little bit coming up with something. I have a problem. There's a couple things when it comes to stories and storytelling in general for me. One, my memory is so shit. I can't seem to remember like stories very long, especially like if I just watched a movie and we were to talk about it. The main plot points, of course, I'm going to remember, but little tidbits here and there, or if you call out a line from the movie, like I never remember that shit for some reason. And especially with video games, unless the storytelling is kind of at the forefront, it always gets lost on me. And I give Rick shit a lot of the time for Metal Gear Solid being one of the most complicated video game stories ever. But secretly, it's because it's just really hard for me to follow stories in general. So I struggled a little bit trying to find media-based stories that stuck with me. Now, I have a lot of like inspiration from people in general, people that have came from nothing to achieve greatness and stories along those lines that those stories stick with me, but that's not really what we're trying to talk about tonight. And we're talking about things that came from movies, books, TV shows, video games, entertainment arts. I guess to kick it off, one of the things that I did come up with in sort of diving into my mind and trying to figure out what was the story that shaped me. You guys might be a little surprised at this response, but Planet of the Apes was a story that I think shaped me a little bit, or at least stuck with me for a very long time. And I guess the reasons behind that, now I was big into Star Wars growing up as a kid, but those stories never really stuck with me. There was this overarching political side to those stories that never clicked with me. I never understood it. I rewatched the Star Wars series, I don't know, a few months ago, and it finally understood with like the Republic and all this shit. And I was like, that was all over my head as a kid. So they didn't really impact me as well. But Planet of the Apes, there was something about that story that it was much slower. It allowed time to be engrossed with what was going on with that. There was hints of sci-fi. They're traveling through space. Charlton Heston, they crash land on this planet, and then they realize like one of the passengers is dead because I think her, what's the word where you sleep for a long time, in space? What am I thinking of?
Cryo sleep or like, yeah.
Cryo sleep, yeah.
Something like that? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Like her chamber broke, so she like died, and then they look at her and she's like aged like to like a 90-year-old woman. Early on in the story, they introduced the concept of like how space and time work, which was like really triggering my like sci-fi feelies, and I was like, this is fucking cool. And then when they crash land on this planet, there was this nature side of things with the apes and their communities that they had, and technology mixing with nature. That environment, that setting it probably stems from that, but that is something that has been a particular taste of mine throughout my life. You could see it in my like Twitch art. I try to mix nature and technology because the concept of that is just really fascinating to me. So when they're going through the ape community and, they have the humans like tied up in the cages and shit and they can't talk, they're all mute. And you figure out like then the big twist that comes at the end. Wait a minute. You guys have seen the original Planet of the
No.
Apes, right?
No.
I think a lot of you I probably watched it one time. It was such a long time ago, though. Yes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I haven't seen the original in such a long time. Or like the original selection.
And we know Rick ain't seen the shit either, right?
No, I've not seen it at all.
It's a hard one to recommend because it was so old. I don't know. Was that like
60s
I think that
or
was like the
70s.
60s
Yeah,
or 70s?
exactly.
Yeah. So it's really hard to recommend it. But here's the thing. Now you guys know like the ending, right?
No. Obviously.
When basically
It's one of the most iconic
Right.
endings ever. RC,
okay, I
onto
think
it.
that's when they find out that it was on Earth and that
Yes.
they literally like destroyed or blew up the planet and made it their own, something like that. Yeah.
You hear this, Rick? Okay, so check this
That's
out, Rick.
crazy.
Scientists scientist astronauts are traveling through space. They crash land on a planet that is run by apes who are talking, intelligent. They're very religious, and then they have basically humans as pets in like zoos and shit. They have this whole history of ape coming up and, you know, taking over man and things like that. And then you get to the end, Charlton Heston he's left the community with his fucking sexy human female that he found on this planet riding horseback and shit, on the beach. He comes to a stop. He gets off the horse. He goes down into the sand on his hands and knees, and he starts swearing, "God damn you! You blew it all!" And then the camera pans out, and you see the Statue of Liberty half buried in the sand on this beach, and your mind just is fucking blown. And you're like, holy shit, this was Earth the entire time. And that, I remember as a kid, I had like a little fort set up over the TV. I was sitting there eating popcorn, watching this shit, and I was just engrossed. And I think Planet of the Apes is really what sparked my love of sci-fi and space and time and the understandings of those things. And just to touch on the series as a whole, because there was 4 other movies that were in the series after that?
Yes, but like I said, I kind of lost count. I only watched one, and I was aware of the others, but didn't watch them like that.
So by the time I was watching, these were all already out, and like, you know, old people knew these series already because this shit was from the 60s, 70s. So I watched through the rest of them. You had Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which they sent a second set of a crew of astronauts. They crash land on the same planet that was in the first one, but this time they find this subterranean group of super intelligent humans. So on the same planet where the apes were running, they had this underground, like they were kind of like radiated, and like they were all like kind of disfigured a little bit, I think. And so these guys have been worshiping a nuclear bomb in the caves on this planet, right? and yeah, this was kind of one of the shittier movies out of the series, but it plays a huge role, and I'm going to tell you why. So at the end of this one, they basically activate this nuclear bomb, and then the planet explodes. Like they blow up the planet.
Eesh. Then we
cut to Escape from the Planet of the Apes, which has 2 of the apes from the first movie. Listen, I know what you're thinking. This shit sounds crazy, but bear with me. I'm gonna bring this full circle real quick.
I'm listening. Yeah,
We're here.
So, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. They had 2 of the apes from the first movie that were pretty heartwarming. They helped Charlton Heston's character out in escaping, and then kind of dealing. They were scientists too, so they wanted to study like how did this human, how is he talking, and blah blah blah. So at the point of like just before the bomb that blows up in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, they leave out on a spaceship that they found, and they escape the planet before it blows up. Okay, they land then back in time where Charlton Heston's character first came from. They land on Earth at that time, so people are like freaking out, like there's these apes that can talk. They become superstars, right? People are in the limelight, and then they have a kid. A bunch of bullshit happens where people that don't like the fact that there's these apes that can talk get them into a bunch of shit. They kill them. The ape that they have this baby. End movie. Boom. We run into Conquest for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God.
Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. Then shows the story of this baby, which if you've seen any of the new remake Planet of the Apes, this was baby Caesar.
Oh, okay.
So Caesar grows up in Conquest for the Battle of the Planet of the Apes, and this is where you see him with James Franco. That's Caesar. That's sort of the nod to him. This is where they're attaching the new movies to. For Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, he's grown. Apes, all other apes have also begun to become pets. And so they're kind of like slaves. So pretty much every human has an ape that's walking around with them. And now Caesar, he doesn't like this shit. So he starts a revolution, goes into a big battle. The apes take over. Then we lead into the final movie in the series, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Now, this is a little bit in the future where the apes have fully taken over the world pretty much. And there's there's small subgroups, and the new movies tackled this concept as well, that are trying to battle each other, and the apes ultimately win. And here's what's dope about this series, guys: you can start the series at any movie and continue them in order, and it loops back around. So at the end of Battle for the Planet of the Apes, the final movie in the series is essentially the first movie, Planet of the Apes, where Charlton Heston then lands on that planet, which is the future of Earth, and where the apes have taken over. So you can literally start from movie 3, go to 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and it all still makes sense. That was one of the most fascinating things for me, being able to watch these in a binge sort of manner, to see how storytelling could be done that way, to connect all these things in such a circular manner. Now, there's probably tons of loopholes you can find in that, but the general through line is that you can watch these in any order, or in starting from any place and then watch in continued order.
Oh, I see. I never knew that.
No.
That's something. No, I was about to say, man. I never knew about the original movie series and everything. I was kind of only interested in the Mark Wahlberg one, and then when the
that was Tim Burton, by the way.
I should know. That's actually pretty good. And then when the recent trilogy came out, I thought that was extremely good as well. But I never went back to watch the original. Yeah. I guess you said 5 movies. Yeah,
5 movies.
So I might as well do it sometime soon, man. Seriously.
See, if you're okay with that nostalgia, then I would absolutely recommend watching it.
See, I have no okay. This is going to sound bad to anyone listening, or it's not going to be surprising to anyone who knows me, but the only Planet of the Apes I've ever seen was the Mark Wahlberg one. I haven't seen the new recent trilogy. I never saw the original movies. The idea of the story sounds cool, of the entire series sounds cool, but it's just, does it hold up well? Do the original 5 hold up well, or
it does if you pay, if you're only there for the story, then yes. But I'm sure you've seen what the costumes and the makeup sets of the old planet, or what the old apes looked like. It might be jarring. Oh my god, they basically they're kind of like puppets.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, they won awards for the costuming and the shit for that back then. Yeah, the visual arts. Yeah, they definitely won awards for that shit.
Well, yeah, because I mean, anything that's older, there are some movies where, if you go back with today's lens and look at something from the 60s and 70s, it's going to look like shit, Yeah. It definitely does not. Some of them, the original Star Wars, right? It does not hold up that well today. I mean, it does decent in a lot of areas, but there are some areas where it's all right, you could see that some asshole's just in a costume.
Well, you probably haven't seen the remasters or I don't know if they call them remasters. RC, you might know the term.
I definitely know what you're talking about, where they added probably CG effects to certain characters, and probably added HDR and everything to the original trilogy and everything. Yeah, I kind of want to say that they are remasters.
Yeah, those are a lot easier to go back to with sort of a modern lens about you. And with Planet of the Apes, the ones that take place on 1970s Earth time, where you have the groovy clothes and all that stuff, that kind of may be a little jarring. But the landscapes of during the Apes time, where you have these really just browns and rocky structures, that I don't think really changes setting wise. So if you can get past the costumes of the apes themselves, the story and environments, all that shit I would say still holds up.
Okay. Yeah, that. I mean, maybe one day, I'll go back and watch a lot of the films that I should have seen growing up. Maybe I'll do that one day and I'll throw that in there. But I don't.
It's a hard sell. I understand. I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm just saying this one impacted me a lot as a kid, more so than Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Like Planet of the Apes was that's my sci-fi holy grail.
Okay. Maybe I'll check them out. Maybe.
So Rick, what do you do? This is your kind of baby. I know you got something good. What's a story that has impacted you or stuck with you? What do you got?
I'm gonna throw a curveball. So I've already picked out the two that I'm going to discuss, but there's one that I don't think anyone would think, right? That knows me, right?
Dawson's Creek?
No. The obvious answer for anyone who knows me, I'll save that for last because that one I may go on a long tangent with.
It's probably Witcher.
It is not actually.
Oh shit!
It is not. Okay. No, fantastic game, but yeah, the game is fantastic. The story is not. It hasn't stuck with me that long.
Okay. Fair.
So my first story that has impacted me to the point where it actually changed me as a person is actually the movie Alpha Dog.
Oh.
Yes, it is. It was. I don't remember how old I was when I saw it, but it was what 2004, 2005. 2006. Okay. So we're talking 14 years ago. I was 18 at the time. And just the entire story and the idea of what happened changed me as a person because I don't know if Alpha Dog was if it was like a film adaptation of a novel or something like that. I did know it's based on a true story, right? But I don't know if they made a book of it.
That was based on a true story?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's based on a true story, and I didn't know that till afterwards. So I had no idea what was going to happen and all that. But it changed me because seeing this kid just be completely oblivious to everything that's going on around him, and how there are people who are actively they're conspiring against him, and he's completely unaware of what's going on. I don't know. It stuck with me. It's a movie that I think about constantly. I probably
what was it that actually, what do you think changed about yourself after watching that?
It made me realize that people can be friendly to your face and then just take everything away from you. If it meant ruining their lives, then they'll take everything from you to protect themselves. And at that time, I was very impressionable. I wanted to please everyone that I came across. I wanted to, be there for every single person that I came across and make sure that, I treated them with the utmost respect. And after seeing that, it kind of made me stop and think man, this is kind of fuck people, it kind of made me it kind of made me realize hey, you can be nice, you can be friendly, but, keep your guard up a little bit, make sure that you're not being completely oblivious to your surroundings. Make sure that you don't get involved with people that, you really don't need to be involved with.
Yeah. So you must have been at least fortunate enough living till 18 to not have been seriously fucked over in some respect.
Yeah, I am, if you're, religious or not or anything like that, but it is not lost on me that I'm a very blessed person in every aspect of my life. Every single thing that I get involved in, it always gets better for me. Cars, jobs, girlfriends, computer, you name it, anything that I get involved with, it's never, the next step is never a disadvantage, or I'm sorry, not disadvantage, but it's never a loss to me. It's always an improvement from the previous.
Yeah, and I'm sure that helps with general outlook. If something bad does come across, you have a mentality to, that's fine. The next thing's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I just lost my job last week and I'm not super stressed about it just because I know I've been through worse situations and I've pulled through all of them. And if I don't, I know I will. But if for some reason I don't, the only reason why I won't is because I'm dead. I don't know. I don't know.
So
man.
Would you say you're the alpha dog now?
This guy and the podcast. Just I almost hit end call. I looked
This
at that
beta
red
bitch over here.
I looked at that red button like I don't want to do this
I ain't
anymore.
that.
But yeah, no, I think I think that I can't remember the kid's name. It's really falling on me right now.
That kid wasn't that kid from Dawson's Creek?
That I don't know. Well, no, he died in real life though. I do know that.
Oh, you're talking about from the real story.
Yeah. Well, no, from the movie, the actor who played the kid.
That was
I cannot remember his name.
Oh fuck, he was in something.
He was in the vampire movie, right? Wasn't he in like a RC? I'm surprised you don't know what we're talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he died he was the Star Trek kid.
Oh,
yes, he was in Star Trek. He was in Star Trek.
Alton, some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, something. Yeah,
he died in a car crash, right?
No, I think a car hit him.
It wasn't even. It was his parents' car. It was like his dad's car or something like that. He was.
It was like some fucked up, like crazy circumstance.
Yeah, like the car just rolled backwards.
Rolled into him or something.
Yeah, it like rolled backwards and hit him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it.
But that story and everything about it. Just you know how in every. Like, there's always something that happens to come out at the right moment. Like for me, Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory album came out. It came out at the perfect moment. And that album to this day is the only album that I can literally hit play on track 1 and just let it go all the way through. And every single track is incredible.
I
to
bet
this day,
Rick believes in simulation theory because everything is coincidental for him.
No, that's funny. I don't. Well, first of all, I'm not familiar with that theory
that we're living in a simulation, the Matrix.
No, I don't know if I.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I don't believe in that, but okay. I think, yeah, man. It's just that one really, really got me.
I did enjoy it for the most part, and it was a movie that I was like, Justin Timberlake can do everything.
Yeah, he was amazing in that movie. He was really good. Now the dude, I can't. Again, I'm drawing a huge blank on everyone, but the actor who played the guy who was behind killing the kid, like Tyler Hinch or something like that.
That's who I'm saying. Wasn't he in Dawson's Creek?
He might have been. He might.
Or no, he was Mighty Ducks, wasn't he?
No idea.
No idea.
Rick hasn't seen either that shit.
No, I've seen Mighty Ducks.
Because I haven't seen a movie in a long time. I can't place faces in it, except for Bruce Willis and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Willis?
Yeah, he was in Alpha Dog.
Fuck, I don't remember him in that.
He was the dad, right? Yeah. It's been such a long time since I've seen Alpha Dog. Like the characters' names and stuff are completely lost on me.
It's interesting. That's the one you connected with the most and got the most out of when it comes to backstabbing and deeper look into human nature. The ending when he's like crying and shit on the mountainside and they're like, yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah, that fucked with me, dude, for a good minute. Like, it was like, yeah, how could you kill a kid that's literally begging for his life? You know? Like, it fucked with me, dude, for a good minute.
Dude, if you want some more movies that have that kind of moment, I'll send you some.
Yeah, please do.
Man.
Because
I don't even want to think about it.
There's a few out there.
Have me in my feelings for a month.
Yeah. Have you seen The Boy in the Striped Pajamas?
No, I haven't, but Jody keeps telling me to watch it. She keeps talking about it.
Watch that one.
But isn't that like some... Nah, I don't know if I'll...
Listen, we established on the Aliens episode you can say Nazis.
Yeah, is that like a concentration camp or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what makes it a little bit more powerful too. The storytelling behind it. It's great. It's a great movie.
Yeah. It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
All right. Big RC.
Yeah.
What about you, man? What has shaped your life?
Man, I don't even know how to begin it. Let's just say that this particular TV series definitely sparked my interest in science. And from there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I guess till now, I still don't know what to do, but I did narrow down a lot though. Like I would say within the past couple of years. But, let's just say that, when I was, I want to say 8 or 10 years old, stayed up late one night and ended up watching this particular show I didn't know nothing about. It ended up being Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And it kind of blew my mind how I was seeing black actors in the show as well during the time, because growing up I really wouldn't see a lot of black people, characters in shows. So,
that's something I kind of wanted to talk about in other episodes, but like you were aware of that at 8 or 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. Like it's funny how I knew the person. I think it was Michael Dorn playing the Klingon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was aware that he was in makeup, but like the one who played Geordi LaForge.
Well, now you got to remember too, RC was 8 in the 60s, so that that kind of helps him.
Anyway,
was Worf your favorite character?
No. It was actually a toss between Patrick Stewart character who played Picard and LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton,
engineering and everything. So so what ended up happening was, man, I really got into that show and started watching a little bit of DS9 and Voyager when those came out. And during that time, I remember I would always set the VCR and had the timer ready and make sure that it recorded every episode. Like that was my DVR back then. It just takes.
Hell yeah.
And after the episode, I would like go to the next portion of the tape, or I just rewind it and just erase it and watch the episodes from that. Yeah. Until like Voyager ended, and then like eventually put on DVD or like VOD in the future. But because of that definitely, how should I put this, shaped me or launched me into wanting to learn more about other science fictions and technology as well. And that's how I got into computers a little bit, self-teaching myself about little things here and there. And I remember my father buying AOL for dummies and shit. And all that stuff. And I would read on like everything you could do in AOL and whatnot. And yeah, I remember the first PC in the house we had was what I want to say a Gateway.
Yeah, probably a Gateway.
And everything. Yeah, so like I'll play with that. Then we eventually got more bigger and better computers and everything. And eventually in the future after high school, I went into music production. But I noticed how my parents didn't want to, how should I put this, support me in that cause. So then I ended up going to Lincoln Tech, which they were all about for some reason all of a sudden. And then I ended up getting a degree in applied science, which is kind of messed up because I never used that degree in anything.
Well, that's usually how it goes. But.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have so many. I know a friend right now who has a computer engineering degree, and he's pushing carts at all these. Like, man. No disrespect to him. I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but he's one of my good friends that I feel absolutely horrible for. That man went and sat through all that stuff and could not find a job with that degree.
I feel like school today it's a money game.
I think there's a lot of discussion around that.
Yeah, Tasha's probably going to want to be on that one. I can just hear it now. No disrespect, Tasha.
She's screaming at the speakers right now. You dumb bitches.
See, how I feel about it is real quick. It's like I feel like if you go to school, it should be for like a specialized field that you are needed in. I think.
Well, you're talking about basically trade schools in that sense.
Or either medical, doctor, or like lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe farming as well. Because farming is very important.
Right. Plus, I think it's important to make sure that you make sure that people are aware of the distinction, right, between education and like learning and knowledge, making sure that you're always learning and you're willing to learn versus signing away thousands and thousands of dollars for something that you have no interest in. If it's something that you love, you should follow whatever it is that you want and whatever is going to get you to that. But just make sure that that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
But to bring it back a little bit, because last time we talked on the podcast, you had brought up the fact that you wanted to be an astronaut.
Yes. Because
is there stemmings from? Yeah. That's okay. That's what the connection I wanted to make.
Like, to tell you the truth, so many ideas ran through my head. Like, I actually thought about becoming a DDS. The whole dental doctor. Yeah.
Dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or an optometrist, But that was after the fact I went to school and I got my degree, and I was scared to go back because I already owed money do something I'm not even using it in.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, yo, like really? So like that kind of discouraged me, which I wish didn't happen, but
Yeah, so you had this media Star Trek that was kind of playing into your passions and things you wanted to do, but IRL life didn't really allow for testing waters and different things to see. And, you know, being an astronaut obviously is a huge journey towards
something like that as well. And then, of course, I'll have to go to astronaut camp or whatnot when I was a kid. But, you know, like my parents didn't really have money back then like that to help me explore extracurricular activities.
For local.
Hey, man, let's bring that up. Anyway, so I was just stuck back then, just pretty much going to school and doing band and just coming home. And like, that's all I did during elementary, and then high school, you know how it was. It just chilling and everything, and try to get out. Yeah.
Did you ever go back and watch the original series?
Yes. And I could not really get into it, but I do respect it though. I would definitely love the characters, man, but like I feel like the show was just too old for me to like really get into it like that, you know? I know that the actress that played Lieutenant Uhura, I mean, she had like a crazy story about like how she was on there and how she wanted to leave, but Dr. Martin Luther King wanted her to stay on there. But that's a show that he will watch with his kids late at night.
I wonder if that was after the kiss.
Oh, with Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I wonder if it was, when did MLK talk to her? If it was like, because I've heard that story that he sort of gave her motivation to continue with the series. But I wonder if he saw that after the famous kiss, the first interracial kiss on television.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. But I feel like that particular series sparked a lot of things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and the cool thing about Star Trek was that, opposed to Star Wars, I think Star Wars was more further down the goalpost when it comes to technology, whereas Star Trek felt like it was obtainable technology, if that makes any sense.
I've always said that. Like, no disrespect to Star Wars. I love Star Wars as well, but I feel like Star Wars was definitely more fantasy. I feel like Star Trek was more realistic. Like, I could actually see ourselves in like maybe a century or century and a half doing what they were doing, you know?
Yeah, it seemed more scientific, I guess, than like you said, fantasy. Yeah,
but yeah.
I had a feeling that that's where you were gonna go. You know,
have you seen Star Trek at all, Rick?
I have not seen. Well, okay. My brother used to watch Star Trek. I think it was The Next Generation or Voyager. I think it was Voyager. My brother used to watch that. What was the one with the main, like the captain was like a redheaded woman?
Voyager.
Okay, yeah. My brother used to watch that religiously, and I would watch maybe 10 seconds of that before I'd walk out the room. So, my knowledge of Star Trek is pretty much just like I know about some of the names, Picard. And,
he's like, I know what a Klingon is, I think.
I know the hand symbol.
They do something weird with their hands, you know? Like,
yeah. I know how important LeVar Burton is to a lot of people, you know, but
reading Rainbow, bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, it's funny you bring that up. I had never heard of Reading Rainbow until the campaign to try to bring it back. I had never heard that when I was younger.
Was he going to be a part of it?
He is the Reading Rainbow guy. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah, but if they were going to bring it back, was he going to be attached to it?
Well, he was the one that was trying to bring it back. Like, he was the one mainly campaigning for it. I think it did come back, didn't it?
I think it was successful. Tabs on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did bring it back. But outside of like the little bit of knowledge, I've never seen any of the movies. I've never watched any of maybe a little bit. I probably watched collectively one entire episode of Voyager. Collectively.
Yeah.
Seen shit in his life.
I haven't seen any of the new ones either, like the J.J. Abrams ones. I heard those were incredible.
That's why he was impacted by Alpha Dog.
Yeah. Because I never saw.
You saw nothing else.
I saw all the Star Wars movies.
I'm leaving that in.
That's cool. I mean,
All right, RC, Jordy or Cisco?
Ooh, fuck you. Benjamin Sisko was a badass, and I definitely liked this character, man. But he was part of the command structure, but LaForge was part of, the engineering, which I was more tied into, man. So I'm gonna go with
okay.
LaForge.
All right. That's a good answer. This guy. Rick's like, this is my topic. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Please continue. You're good. I have no idea what you're talking about, but go ahead. I don't want to ruin you all's fun.
The other one I kind of had thought about, kind of along the same lines of the Planet of the Apes series, but something that I had thought inspired me, maybe caused me to think a little bit deeper into storytelling, and that would be the George Romero's Night of the Living Dead series. So Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all of those. I grew up with horror movies being pretty available. My mom loves horror movies. She put me onto a lot of those things. And my dad, he was huge into zombies in general. So I took after him in that respect. And they had put me on to Night of the Living Dead. And Dawn of the Dead is where I really got into zombies. The idea of the setting taking place on a mall where you got that seems like the dopest zombie post-apocalyptic place to hold up as your fort, a fucking mall. That blew my mind. Just the setting alone was really cool to me. And then moving into Day of the Dead, I loved that movie, but Dawn of the Dead was where it really stuck out for me. It was really where zombies became a part of me, and I love anything pretty much zombie ever since, and I hold the Romero rules to heart. even with one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch is Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which is far outside of zombie rulescape, but zombies have just been something important to me. But the impactful part of Romero's series, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this stuff. Well, first, have you guys seen all of them?
Oh no, I want to say I've probably seen 60%.
Yeah,
the original, the original and remakes. Yes.
Okay, the remake of Dawn of the Dead was pretty dope too. I enjoyed that, except the baby part. I was like, "That's stupid.
That was weird. Out of here." That was weird. That was very weird.
That's when I was like, God, you almost had it. Yeah,
I only saw the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I've never seen any of the other ones.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
My dude. Yes. That shit haunted me as a kid. That was something I think my dad would say that to my mom all the time to freak her out. And so it was just, it was really part of my childhood, weird to say. But the thing that I enjoyed a lot about watching those movies was I don't know how to say this, I don't know, maybe correctly, but it showed me that there was stories, and then there were stories that had deeper meaning, and allegory, the term allegory, in that a story is subtly referring to something else, right? So Night of the Living Dead is an allegory to racism. When you watch it, you have the main character is a black guy, and you see throughout that movie these undertones of racism and a lens of racism, a sort of mirroring society at that time of what racism was and how it was back then. When you see the main character, which was shocking back then to have your lead as a black guy, but then Romero, setting up scenes where he ultimately is being taken out by a group of zombies that were very much visually akin to lynchings and things like that. And it was really holding, it's so stupid to say because it's sort of the the stereotypical ooh, artsy, it's holding a mirror to society, kind of thing. But this was what it was doing. It was holding a mirror. You guys are fucking pieces of shit for having all this racism about. And it was telling that story. And it was this top layer of zombies that was just sort of on that. And that led me to a deeper thinking of like how storytelling could be told and how directors can do this sort of storytelling avenues in these ways. And for me, as somebody who likes to be creative and be aware of those storytelling methods, is really inspiring to me. And then when you go into like Dawn of the Dead, the allegory there, and this is talked about, you can find tons of research on how these are. It's not just me saying this shit, but like Dawn of the Dead was essentially America's descent into consumer culture. And you see that with the mall being right in the forefront. This was when did that come out? I want to say that was the 70s as well. But you had a huge uptick in commercials and things selling you product. Go out and buy. Here's the new thing. Here's the new twisty hair thing that'll make your hair all perfect and blah blah blah. So like having the mall as the centerpiece with shopping was the social commentary of consumer culture. And then when you go into Day of the Dead, which was basically a view on the military, and it was it was really cool because if you don't know Day of the Dead, they had a zombie. His name was Bub. And he was kind of like a helpful zombie. He was like your pet. They were trying to do like studies on him and try to figure out the whole zombie thing and blah blah blah. But the underlying undertones for the movie was the military, and I think they were trying to talk about the Cold War underhandedly through the storytelling. So as a whole, that series showed me not only like a glimpse into the past and in understanding what was going on at the time of this movie making, but also the art of storytelling and how allegories work. And it was something that has definitely stuck with me. I always think back to that, like, oh yeah, Night of the Living Dead, that was racism. Look at how he told that story. Blah, 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 blah. This is something I can incorporate into, my storytelling, eventually.
I never would have thought the thing so complex about those original movies like that. I was just watching them out of pure entertainment. I never would have thought about the whole social structure thing behind them.
Yeah, and when you kind of can make fun of, probably, you see people look at a piece of art, right? Like a painting, and you get the douchey, like, oh, it's, the juxtaposition of society and culture, blah, 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 blah. But there is that the creators themselves put that into, and identifying that, it's like you almost unlock a puzzle, which is fascinating to me.
So now when I go back and watch the movies, I'll definitely keep that.
Yeah. Those are ones that I've definitely wanted to check out, just never actually got around to it.
Oh, there's one scene from Night of the Living Dead that I know you're going to love, Rick. I'll send it to you later.
Outside the podcast. Right.
Outside the podcast. Right. Yeah, they had it was originally black and white, and then they colorized it later. But I think the black and white, it feels kind of creepier, I guess.
I can't explain it. Yeah, it's just for what it is.
So that's pretty much the main stories that I can really think of and look back on that, like, I think about most often. Are those trilogies or what's the 5-movie trilogy called?
Oh my goodness.
I'm still called a quint something, but it's called like just the movie series. Shit, fuck.
A quintology. What do you got, Rick?
Well, so my last one is, of course, Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, of course. Metal Gear Solid, to be exact, is, it's one of my favorite games of all time. When I tell people that it's one of my favorite games of all time, the one thing that people don't know is that there's a very personal reason for it. It's actually the very first video game that not only did it introduce me to the world of video games in a more serious manner, but it's also the first game that me and my dad bonded over.
Oh.
Yes. I'll never forget. He went out one day, he picked up Pizza Hut pizza. And at the time, they were doing a PlayStation demo disc event. And, he brought it home. We had a PlayStation 1. We had like I think we had like Crash Bandicoot and like a couple other sports games that he primarily played. But at that time, I wasn't really into gaming. I've said it to you all before. If it wasn't about girls and sports, I didn't really care. That's why I haven't seen a ton of the movies that I should have seen, is because it just didn't fall into those categories that I was interested in. We got the demo disc. My dad was like, "Hey, do you want to, check this out?" So we scrolled through. We looked at a couple of the games. I think Tekken 2 was on there. And, we kind of messed around, like Destruction Derby, Blast Factory, I think, or Blast Factor or something like that was on there, just kind of messing around. And then I see Metal Gear Solid. And, I almost ignored it. I almost just completely went past it because it wasn't colorful. It just looked like, it looked weird, But I remember thinking that the dude's suit that was on the front looked completely badass. I checked it out. Dad was sitting right next to me. And yeah, we really bonded from that. We really sat there and played, because you play at the bottom when he first comes out from the water. And then you play that first little spot. You go up the elevator and you play out in the helipad. And then once you go into the vent, the demo ends. And we must have played that same little 2 parts maybe like 5 times in a row. In that one,
just passing the controller back and forth.
Yeah, just seeing like how unique this game was and how cool it was. And at the time, there really wasn't voice acting in games like that. At the time, games were just archaic, and it was always stuff like Crash Bandicoot and colorful shit everywhere. There wasn't a serious tone to anything to me.
Somebody's gonna call you the fuck out, like, no, you forgot about this game.
I'm pretty sure there's dozens of games that came. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there are dozens of games that were much more serious in tone before Metal Gear Solid, but I'm not talking about those. I'm specifically talking about my experience. If you had a different game that was serious at the time, that's great. But I just wasn't into gaming at that time, so I'm not familiar with that stuff. At that time, I wasn't. But
was your dad a gamer, like big time? Like did he introduce you to gaming, or?
So at that time, he was a bigger gamer than I was by far. But the one who actually introduced me to the games, oddly enough, was my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom. She actually kept me out of school one day when I was like 5, maybe 6. She actually kept me out of school one day because she was on the very last mission, she was on the very last stage in Super Mario 3, I think. And yeah, she actually kept me out of school because she was playing it. She was really good. And I'm like, I remember this day, dude. Like, I remember it very vividly. She looks at me and she goes, "You're sick." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're sick today. You're not going to school."
We're playing Nintendo.
And she played it, and I remember her being so excited when she beat it. And then
that 8th world on Super Mario 3 is hard as fuck, by the way.
Dude,
so
tell me about it.
Her for seeking out help.
She beat it. No, she beat that whole game by herself. And then once she beat it, like immediately after, she was like, "No, she was like, I cannot play video games anymore." She's like, it's too much fun, it's too addicting, and I'll get lost in it. So she stopped cold turkey and never picked up a game until recently. Like now she plays like, Bejeweled and the mobile games and stuff like that. But yeah, she was the one that introduced me. And then my dad got into he played the sports games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Metal Gear. And then I played the demo religiously. And then maybe like a year or 2 later, we ended up moving, and I had seen my first Hollywood video. And so we went in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I rented 3 games. My first rental, I rented Metal Gear Solid, GoldenEye 64, and WCW NWO Revenge. And I never returned any of them. I kept all 3.
That NWO game was the shit, though.
Yeah, dude. NCAA.
I played the hell out of that game.
Dude, Revenge was incredible, dude.
Yes.
That one and WrestleMania 2000 are those are my favorite wrestling games, with like SmackDown and stuff being like, 3rd and stuff. But yeah, dude.
Wait, what were were the other two you rented? I got lost on the NC.
The WCW Revenge.
Yeah.
I rented Metal Gear Solid and GoldenEye.
Oh, so did you and your dad pick up and play together the rest of the game, or did it become like I'm too busy playing this shit myself to get dad involved?
Without diving too deep into personal stuff, no, I did not. Me and my dad did not play it. I ended up playing it by myself. Yeah, dude, but I got it and I got hooked. I mean, hooked. Everything from the gameplay, the story, the music, anyone who's played Metal Gear will tell you that every Metal Gear game has like a slight horror element to it. Like the idea of being spotted kind of scares you a little bit. Even the idea of the alert sound, with the exclamation point, like all of that is just, it's still some sort of fear in you that, hey, maybe I need to be quiet. I need to be careful.
Psycho Manus.
Yeah. And then, there you go. The fourth wall breaking in that game, the reading of the memory card, the controller, the second port. Metal Gear is a game that, like, if like, the same old, like, oh, if aliens come down, what are you going to show them to, show what the humans are capable of? I don't know if Metal Gear Solid would be it, but
or maybe on top of the Tinder.
Yeah, it would definitely be it. If not The Witcher 3, of course. But yeah, dude, Metal Gear is just very special to me. And, Phantom GH is a perfect example of that. That's directly from Metal Gear Solid. Gamers Haven Network. The Haven part is specifically from Metal Gear Solid 4. The emotes and stuff that we're working on for my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/phantom_GH. Like everything that we're working on, everything that I'm working on has some sort of Metal Gear history to it.
Yeah, we definitely know you as the Metal Gear guy. That is 100% true.
Yeah. And then it kind of bled into not just Metal Gear, it bled into the creator, Hideo Kojima. I started to follow the man essentially, like
he got a restraining order.
Pretty much, yeah. Like when I heard that his team was co-producing Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hands on the Game Boy Advance, I immediately bought that. When I heard his team was attached to Zone of the Enders, immediately bought those. I own every Metal Gear game. There's a few, I shouldn't say every, but there's a few that I don't own. But
Metal Gear games?
Yeah, there are a few Metal Gear I don't own. Like,
which ones don't you own? Like,
if you want to get specific, I don't own the MSX games, the ones that were only released in Japan. I don't own those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Those are probably what, like $300?
Yeah. I've never played. He has two other games, Police Knots and Snatcher, that I don't own, that I would love to play because those games came before Metal Gear. Well, I think Snatcher was actually after Metal Gear, but I could be wrong on that. But like Death Stranding was my game of the year last year. It was weird as all hell. I had everybody and their mother telling me like, "Hey man, so you like an Amazon delivery game? Like, is that what you love?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that game." It's just the man knows how to write a story. It's not hard at all for me to follow.
He does.
He knows how to write a story. When I was streaming Death Stranding and there was a cutscene, it brought back old feelings of Kojima games where you can kind of see the motivations and the emotions that the characters are going through. There's deep writing in his stuff. And to me, to me, a game is only as important as its story. Like if it had gameplay is one thing, but it has to have a engaging story. I have to be invested in what's going on. If I don't care about the character, then I don't, why am I playing it?
Right.
But, I mean, I really don't know how to explain it more than that. Like, Metal Gear is very important to me. It's something that I'm probably going to remember for the rest of my life. And I hope I get to meet Kojima one day. That would be awesome.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Rick's expression the day he gets to meet Kojima?
I'm crying. I'm going to cry. I'm going to give him a hug. I'm gonna be like, man, look, like, do you need an intern? I'll work for free, man.
He's gonna like trip on something and like spill pen ink all over Kojima or something like that. His first introduction.
Of course, that's gonna be my first introduction to him. He's gonna be like, "Did you really just like spill ink all over me, man? Like, why would you do that?"
Or he's gonna like shit his pants right in front of him. Like, Kojima starts sniffing.
Okay, come on now.
Like his
was that you? Was that you? Or was it
this guy? And then just think about like the one thing that before we move on to RC, I think the other thing about Kojima that makes him so important, especially to the games industry, is the guy literally created the stealth genre.
Yeah.
He's also a very huge pioneer behind the idea of a deep story in a game. Just
storytelling in general and being able to convey that through gameplay was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know of any other game that was able to pull this off where you can have a deep, engaging story and you can actually feel the motivations behind a character when they don't have eyeballs or when their mouths don't move. Their heads just shake when they talk. But you could still understand exactly, and that's a testament to the powerful writing as well as the actors too. David Hayter and Debbie May Guest and like all these people who really did a great job bringing those characters to life. But dude, Metal Gear.
And it taught me what diazepam was.
Yeah.
That's where I learned what that shit was.
Yeah, exactly the same thing here. I had no idea what that was before that. Dude. And then all the cool characters. Liquid Snake is like one of the greatest villains of all time. I cannot wait for that movie. Dude.
Oh, that's a slippery slope, man. It could ruin it for you.
It won't do that, but it will. The reason why I have faith is because the director, I feel like, is as big a fan as I am. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the guy.
That'd help.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah. It always helps when whoever's behind the director's chair is a fan of whatever he's working on.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I have faith. That's enough from me. I could keep going on for hours about Metal Gear.
Big RC, do you have one to close us out with?
Yeah, man, nothing particularly big, man, but it definitely had to do with how anime kind of shaped how I look at society today.
Interesting.
Okay.
It kind of started when, of course, I don't know how old I was. I really don't remember. I just remember I was in my mother's room while she was downstairs cooking something in the kitchen.
Sounds like you're cooking something right now.
No, it ain't me. Somebody else. Ain't me, though. Shit. She was downstairs cooking something, and then I know I had tuned into, I think it was channel 18 when it was like Jones Intercable. This is like all before Comcast, and then AT&T and all that stuff. Yeah, it was like Japanimation. I'm like, what is this? Right? It's crazy, like a cartoon, but it's super violent. But I like it. But keep in mind too, a lot of cartoons in the 90s were violent too, like Ren and Stimpy and all that stuff. But like that's no sort of another time. But anyway, I remember this particular anime guy. I found it later on and figured out what it was. It was Fist of the North Star, set in this post-apocalyptic world and everything. And I just remember watching it and seeing how violent mankind can be and how selfish and jealous and angry they could be towards one another. And that basically just engaged my interest into watching more anime, which was, thank God, different from that. But it also taught me maybe I should basically watch out for people I don't know and kind of keep my distance till I get to know them better.
Oh, like Alpha Dog.
This is right. But it definitely, I think that particular what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say viewing, but my experience with that kind of kept me on edge and kept me out of trouble growing up during the time.
Okay.
Because I feel like during the time I was nice, but luckily I wasn't nice to the wrong people, So I was able to see certain people for who they were after I got to know them for a while and just kept my distance, all because of what the anime had presented to me in other animes I watched after that as well. So,
damn, it's crazy that y'all learned like street smarts from these stories, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a few things. I mean, as far as street smarts goes, there are a few mediums that we probably could have, or forms of entertainment that we could have learned a lot of stuff from. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, the main one outside from, like, I didn't really watch anime growing up either. I don't really watch it now. Like, I mean, I just watched Dragon Ball Z maybe 5 years ago. To what RC was saying, there's so many things that we could have learned growing up. And I think for us being Black men, you know, not to invalidate eugenesis or anything like that, but I think for us, it's a little different. And the only reason why I say that is because there, like he said, growing up, there are not a lot of Black influences for us.
But did you have that in anime? Was that I didn't follow anime a whole lot either.
I mean, oh man, Black character anime was rare. Extremely rare. So not heavy Black influences in anime at all. To tell you the truth, growing up.
No,
but I remember in high school, like majority Black students, and there was heavy anime influence. So was there some connection to being a Black person in anime?
You know what?
Or,
I'm kind of glad you said that, because it was, but we didn't find out till after high school. Because you know how it is in high school. It's like everybody don't want to be themselves. Everybody want to be the cool cat, the top dog, and all that shit. So I guess speaking of anime around certain people was like taboo. You know, that's why I was able or fortunate enough to link up with Sage beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Before we got into high school and everything. Yeah, because there were other anime heads, but they didn't really present themselves till after high school. So
Right.
Yeah, anime was not cool growing up at all. Like, you were not cool if you were watching anime, especially in the Black community.
Yes. Yeah,
you know, I mean, any little thing that you do that's not considered Black, you're either a sellout or you're whatever. That's a whole different
weirdo,
topic, though.
a lame, all that shit.
It was very weird. But now things have gotten much better.
Agreed.
You know, it's much better now than 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, like, now you can be a complete nerd, you know, and, you know,
a lot of people,
like, it's cool to be a nerd or to be into that kind of stuff. But growing up, man, that shit was rough. Like, and it wasn't, me not being into anime, it wasn't because it, you know, wasn't cool at the time. It was just because we moved to an area where I didn't have Cartoon Network growing up in that area. And I spent like 10 years there.
Right.
So I went 10 years without, you know, no Dragon Ball Z or any of the stuff that was huge at that time. But so, I mean, I probably would have been into it. But as far as Black characters in anime, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was Dr. what was his name? Mr. Popo?
Mr. Popo.
I don't even think he's not even
He's not even Black. He's just like a Black character, like a weird. I don't know what the fuck he is. Yeah,
yeah. But like we just did not have that growing up.
I was exposed to anime movies when I was growing up, but I never watched anything that had a series, or I don't even know if I had channels that played that stuff, or at least I wasn't exposed to it anyway. But like, I watched Vampire Hunter D, Ninja Scroll was one that I watched over and over again, but that was the extent of it. I never got into Dragon Ball Z or anything like that. Not for any reason. It was just like, it wasn't anything that was in front of my eyes.
You like what you like, and you know, you watch what you get your hands on during that time. So
yeah, which was Planet of the Apes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I feel like we could talk a lot more about these stories, getting the gears turning. You start to think, you know, like I said, I struggled coming up with something, but the more I thought about it, the more I reflected a little bit on some of these entertainment mediums that have impacted me in a lot of ways. And I'm sure there's a ton more out there that I could list and discuss and go into, like how certain things have shaped me or changed my outlook or on life and whatnot. So it's really cool to sort of look back at yourself and your history of your own personal being to see what are some of these influences that really grasp yourself. So it's pretty cool. Well, as we close out, we want to go ahead and give a shout out to our patron members, Tashamonetsims, Nerder She Wrote, and Kazaya. You can check them all out on Twitch. They are streamers, part of the Gamers Haven Network. You guys are awesome. You can find Tashamonetsims on twitch.tv/Tashamonetsims. You got Nerder She Wrote, twitch.tv/Nerder She Wrote. Fancy that. And then you can check out our most recent Patreon member, Kazaya, at twitch.tv/Kazaya Games FSI. She switched her name up on me, so I've been trying to memorize. Listen, Kazaya, if you're listening to this, you know it took me like 3 months to even pronounce your name properly in the first place, then you're going to go and change this shit on me? Not cool. But we want to thank you guys for your continued support towards the Haven Exchange. We love you. You guys are awesome. Shout out to you. Anybody that's listening, go check them out because they are fantastic people.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And as we close out, you know me, or maybe not, but my name is Genesis. Genesis_GH on Twitch. Find me there. We're going to party and have a good time. Twitch is 48th most entertaining streamer.
You lying.
There it is. I knew that. Catch me on all the socials. Genesis_GHN. Gamers Haven Network, baby. And then we have our Sir Big RC. What's going on in your world, man?
Yes, man. Currently on Twitch, I am streaming either Ghost of Tsushima, Phasmophobia, or Fuser. So you can catch me on twitch.tv, BigRC_GH, or on the social medias on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at BigRC56.
Rick, what's up, man? Yeah, I hear you're streaming a lot more these days.
I am 100% engaged with my streaming right now. So if you haven't already, you can follow me at twitch.tv/phantom_gh. Mm-hmm. I am very, very close to hitting affiliate.
I would imagine by the time this episode gets uploaded, you're going to be affiliate.
Well, so I guess you'll be the first to hear it. I checked it before the stream started, and I hit all the requirements.
Shit!
I hit all the requirements, but I haven't officially been. There's no. It doesn't say you're. You know.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been notified about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, as soon as I get that affiliate thing, we're definitely gonna celebrate. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would not have gotten there without you guys' help, man. I greatly appreciate it. You're both
Gamers Haven.
Yeah, the entire Haven. I mean, when I really started to take it serious and really realize that, hey, I can do this, the Haven really stepped up, and I appreciate that. And really quick, I got to give a special shout out to Jody. Mm-hmm. I see Jody's name in every single one of my streams, and her name never leaves. She's always in there, and I know she works. She has a full-time job. She owns her own business. Mm-hmm. So for her to even just put her phone to the side with the stream on, that means a lot. And I greatly appreciate that, So
Jody out there supporting. When are you coming to my stream, Jody? Why don't you come into my stream, Jody?
Yeah, she wants to do the I think I told you, but she wants to do the one of the topics. I won't say what topic it is now, just in case we don't do it. But yeah, she'll definitely have to be there for a topic.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Exactly.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys.
Wait a minute.
So much for.
I didn't say the Twitch channel.
Oh, you know what?
You did.
No, did I?
This is the first thing you said.
All right, look. I'm tired.
Say it again. Say it again. Say my name.
I need you to keep all this in. Don't edit any of this out. No, but I did say it. Twitch.tv/phantom_gh.
He even said that shit in the middle of the fucking podcast.
I did.
He thought he was slick, dropping that fucking link in the middle of the conversation.
You gotta promote yourself, dog. You gotta promote yourself.
I ain't mad at you. I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm proud you're doing that.
But go ahead, sir. I apologize for cutting you off.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I guess we'll just edit out him entirely of this. Metal Gear, what?
I bet you're gonna start. I bet you're gonna start editing out every time I say The Witcher, or you're just gonna like bleep The Witcher like it's a cuss word.
See, listen, you must not have been listening to the final edits.
I haven't listened to I didn't listen to the last one, and I bet. Oh, see, now I gotta listen to it, and I'm gonna have to quit the Haven Exchange now.
Oh man. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Haven Exchange, coming straight to your listening devices every Wednesday. If you're looking to support the show even further, hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/the Haven Exchange. Sign up for any of the tiers there. Support the show and get some goodies while you're doing it. Much love to you all. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we will be talking to you next week. Goodbye.
See ya.
Take it easy.
He always fucking ends on something creepy.
Yeah.
It always cuts it. Yeah, do.
Don't be a hater, bro. Be a hater.
This is the Haven Exchange.